There are days when the body knows something is wrong, long before the mind is willing to admit it. And this was one of those days. I had been cleaning since early morning, moving out of one of the Airbnbs so a guest could move in, then crossing over to help my friend prepare another one. Sheets stripped, washed and remade, and floors swept, counters wiped until they reflected a version of calm that didn't exist inside either of us. I cleaned after myself carefully, almost reverently, because I didn't want to be a burden. I wanted to be a good guest, and I never want to be a burden. My friend was under immense pressure, responsibility, timelines that don't bend, just because someone is human. Her stress was understandable, but stress has a way of spilling outward, and a strong energy that can push it towards you. And when you're someone who absorbs emotional weather, it's easy. It doesn't just stay in the room, it enters your body. By midday, I couldn't eat, not because I wasn't hungry, but because my stomach felt sick in a specific way that comes from emotional overload. The kind that tightens your throat, the kind that makes food feel impossible. I felt it in my chest too, an ache that wasn't sadness exactly, more like shock that hadn't found language. Yet I tried to stay positive, not performative. Positivity, real positivity, the kind that understands that words matter, that language shapes reality, that what we speak becomes what we live inside of. We live inside of it, what we speak. I believe deeply that we are always manifesting, whether we mean to or not, that our thoughts are not passive, that our energy is not neutral. I tried gently to shift the tone, to soften the spiral, to remind her that words spoken in stress don't disappear, they echo. But there are moments when you realize you can't carry someone else's lesson without breaking yourself. And I was breaking. What made it worse was that this wasn't just about the day. That day cracked something open that had been sealed for a while. Because underneath the stress was grief, and underneath the grief was recognition. And underneath that was a truth I had avoided for far too long. I've spent much of my life being used, not loudly, not obviously, but deliberately, and clarity hurts. And every day I have more clarity that I'm here. For years I prayed a very specific prayer. I didn't pray to be protected from pain. I knew pain was unavoidable. I prayed to be protected from people who used me, from narcissists that called it love. And I asked God plainly, honestly, repel narcissists from my life because I can't see them and I'm so trusting. Make me so incompatible with entitlement, manipulation, and selfishness that they would find no satisfaction near me. To repel them, I prayed to see clearly because I didn't want to believe people could hurt me intentionally. I had too much faith in people, too much belief in goodness, too much willingness to give the beneath the surface. I gave it to them, the benefit of the doubt. I didn't want to accept the cruelty could be chosen, that someone would disregard me, that they could know they were hurting you and continue anyways to treat you like a doormat. The theft of trust, time, money, energy could be justified by someone else's crazy mind. But the prayer was answered, not gently, not quietly. It was answered through exposure. Every action revealed intention. Every excuse exposed entitlement. Every denial confirmed what I didn't want to see. What are they doing this on purpose? My family. People who said they loved me showed me step by step that they loved what I gave them, what I did for them, not who I was, not that they prayed for my future when I prayed for them. Family included, and relationships. People don't like to talk about because we are taught that family behavior must be forgiven by default, that blood excuses harm, that endurance equals virtue, that if we're hurt, we should look inward first. But here's the truth. I learned too late. Unfair people don't know they're unfair. They rationalize their behavior. They rationalize their thievery. They are protected by their own narrative. They believe their reasons absolve them. And when you are the one being harmed or lied to, the confusion doesn't stay in your head. It lodges in your body. It becomes fatigue and illness, stress, panic attacks, anxiety, PTSD, and hypervigilance, self-doubt, over-explaining, and you start questioning yourself instead of their behavior. That is what nearly broke me. And by the time I hit what I now understood was rock bottom, I wasn't angry, I was hollow, and I had nowhere left to go but up. I have nowhere left to go but up. Because staying where I was meant, erasing myself completely is what would have happened. And layered on top of all of this, intertwined with it, was another grief I had never learned how to say out loud. Dating, love. Would I ever have true love after everything? The quiet shadows, being someone who values no longer fit. And layered on top of all of this, intertwined with it, was another grief I had never learned how to say out loud. Dating, love, connection, intimacy, and my belief system and my value that I was nothing growing up. The quiet heartbreak of being someone whose values additionally no longer fit in the world I'm living in. I have never wanted casual intimacy, not because I judge it, but because I am incapable of pretending. My body is separate from my heart. I don't know how to explain to a stranger that fidelity is not something I learned later. It's something I arrived with the day I was born. That loyalty isn't restriction, it's safety. That commitment is not boring to me, it's sacred. How do you say this in a world that treats intimacy like entertainment? How do you explain that you don't want to be held by someone who discards people easily? That the idea of sleeping beside someone who cycles through bodies leaves you not curious, but deeply confused and saddened by this behavior of true connection and bond. This isn't morality as superior. It's morality as constitution to myself. It's how I'm built. And the hardest part is that people don't believe you anymore. When you say this, they think you're naive, old-fashioned, unrealistic, and they think marriage is obsolete. That devotion is a myth. That wanting one person to choose you fully and be chosen fully is in return is asking for something unreasonable. But I know the difference now, and I know the difference between the love I thought was love when I was younger and the love that is actually love. True love does not consume and discard. True love does not require self-erase. True love does not demand tolerance of cruelty. True love is loyal, faithful, kind, consistent. And yes, it is rare. That rarity has made me lonely at times. It has made dating feel almost impossible, and it has made me question whether hope is wisdom or foolishness. But here is what I know. If I stop believing in that kind of love, I lose something essential about myself. And I have already lost too much. These thoughts were crashing through me as I stood in rooms scrubbed clean, as I tried to study someone else while my own foundation was shaking, as my body signaled that it could not hold anymore, without somewhere safe to put it. So I left, not out of anger, but stress, out of survival. I got in the golf cart and I drove towards the ocean because I needed to escape my own head before it turned against me. The wind hit my face, warm and insistent, and the road blurred just enough for my breathing to slow down. Coffee drifted through the air, palm trees passed in quiet succession, and life went on. And I carried all of it with me. The betrayal, the clarity, the lies, the grief, the intentional cruelty, the longing, the unanswered questions of whether there is still someone in this world whose heart values what mine does. And these are the secrets I tell the ocean, not because it fixes them, but because it can hold them without asking me to justify why they matter. I stand there knowing that even though I have survived so much, I have not become cruel. I realized something that changed me, though. Purity is not weakness, and giving my heart to the man I love, the men that I have loved, my body, it's not delusion to have hope. Integrity is not outdated. They are simply incompatible with environments that feed on extraction instead of care. And that means that the answer is not to change who I am, to fit this world's idea of intimacy. The answer is to choose where and with whom I stand. That is the truth I am still learning to live into it. And it is the truth I release into the water again and again until my body believes what my soul already knows. That love exists, that goodness exists, that I am not wrong for wanting them. Love exists, goodness exists, and that I'm not wrong for wanting them. And that somebody, whether through travel, stillness, or grace, I will meet a heart that recognizes this is not a rarity, but a home.